What? Hello all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm fixing my little square. It's these days it's deciding to do whatever despite of what I think. To those of you who are new here, I am Juliana. I do not have this introduction scripted ever, at least not so far. I work for the Open Information Security Foundation, writing software or code, documentation, whatever else is needed, and co-mentoring Outreachy interns, especially around our main tool, which is the Suricata tool, an open source network monitoring and security tool. If you are interested in knowing more and you don't know it yet, do check our webpage, suricata.io, and our GitHub in case you want to contribute and understand what we have. We also have great documentation, suricata.readthedocs, I think. Let's check. suricata.readthedocs.io as well. And yeah, so in the past weeks I've been working and mostly sharing a patch that is intended to optimize and give more freedom and flexibility with regards to our packet alert queue. I know those words probably don't make sense to someone who doesn't know Suricata yet, but considering what the tool does, which is to monitor network traffic to both generate intelligence on that traffic. Well, the tool itself, it generates more like data that can be consumed to generate intelligence, although there is some interpretation of the traffic that is seen. And another thing that Suricata does is when you provide it with what we call rules, it will also evaluate the traffic that it sees and generate what we call alerts, which are what the name suggests. They could be warnings that some suspicious activity is going on in your network. So whoever your network or cybersecurity team is can be aware and take the proper measures. And in order for that to work, each network packet will have a alert queue associated with it. And so I've been working on allowing users to dynamically configure the size of that alert queue, because up until now it was static. And when we used a dynamic approach to the queue, some other things didn't work so well. So Victor started some work on optimizing the queue, and I followed up, fixing some bugs and optimizing what he had written, with, of course, reviews from other colleagues like Philip, who is great with such things, and also feedback from our QA tools like our CI fuzz checks. And then I moved on to writing documentation for that, and increasing our stats log, that is adding some information on the alerts that were discarded because our queue was already full with more relevant, so to speak, alerts. And now we want to make sure, or I'm considering taking up the next task as this one, which is related to making sure that if we have rules that have the drop action, which is something that would happen only in IPS mode, we will still respect the drop action. The drop action will, I'm trying to open some rule to show what does that look like. And I'm going to Suricata verify because here is where our part of our integration tests are. And I call them integration tests because they will actually run Suricata, so you can see the whole behavior of the tool instead of like what a unit test would do. Okay, here we have one. So Suricata Verify is where you can find many example rules, and that's what I had in mind, and I succeeded. So here we have a rule that will just generate an alert. That is, it will log to our log files that something happened. In this case, a file which is an executable was stored, and then there's a drop rule that will inspect HTTP traffic, saying that malicious traffic file was detected, and then this is a drop rule, which means that it will, if I understand correctly, it will drop that flow. So it means it will prevent that communication, that whatever is going on there from keep happening. That is only available in IPS mode, which is intrusion prevention. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that is not the main usage that we have for Suricata, but it is a possibility. Some folks and businesses, I think I can say, use it like that. So we have to make sure that even if we are not able to keep this rule for some reason, say that there are many other rules that have a higher internal priority ID, and this one would not be kept in the alert queue. If the rule has a drop action, we have to respect that, because this is important. If it matched against the traffic, we have to make sure that that traffic will be dropped. And this is a new area for me within Suricata. I've never worked with something related to that yet. That happens a lot. All the time I'm working with things which are the first time I'm seeing. One of the reasons for that is because I'm still sort of new to the team. The other is because Suricata is more than 10 years old, so it's a huge code base, it's a very complex tool, and so it's normal to have parts of the tool that the team doesn't know. So yeah, that's the reality, and that's why I said I'm assessing what is it that I have to do, and to try and understand if I am able to start with some work, or if I should just list lots of questions that I should reach out and ask to Victor probably. And I'm taking a strategic coffee break just so I can put on the chat what is the current agenda. If the chat decides to work, that is. All right, so back to what I was doing. As I said, we have to make sure that signatures with the drop action are respected, even if the alert is discarded. I think I'll have to do a lot of investigation in order to understand how to handle this. I probably should start with asking. I was about to say that I should start with asking my mentor if this, or the lead developer, if this is something that will be backported, that is, which will go to the older versions of Suricata that we maintain. Well, we have 7 that will be released, and up to now I've been mostly working for things related to 7th, or if it will be also available for 6.0x or 5.0.x. So that's what I'm talking about, that I have to consider. But if it will be backported, if the other portions will be backported, I'm assuming this should be as well. So I'm not sure. I'll ask, or if I'll just assume. But all right, things to consider. Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi. Is this 4.7 backports only? So these are actually 2 questions. Maybe I could list my questions, and it almost dropped. The mosquitoes keep trying to eat me live. So this was yesterday. And they are succeeding. Alors, jeudi. Questions about 518. What do I have? Is this for backports only, or 4 or 3? I think part of it will not go to 5, but I'm not sure. And why is that important? Because if we have a different solution on how we handle the queue in 7 and in the prior versions, this would also affect how I can take care of the alert rules, I'm assuming. So what else should I know? Do I even understand? I will have to understand. These are questions, and what do I have to understand that I am able to visualize from the start? I know there are many things that I'll have to understand that are not even visible to me yet, that I have no idea as of now, but which will show up certainly pretty soon. Where do we take care of drop actions now? For I don't know. yeah, I think I would start from there. Maybe that's what I should do. Start from, and then I'll go on and list more questions and be stuck in places, and I'll know it's time to reach out to Victor or something. So let's go to, let's update our local branch. Yay! This, I think most of these are connected to the unit tests update that I did, that I think I mentioned yesterday, for changing how we allocate packets in the unit tests, because the change that I mentioned about the configurable alert queue was affected by, well, wasn't affected, but affected how these tests worked. So this is that, which is good, because then some of the other work that I did will be able to stop failing now. Maybe I could, let me see if I can do this and it would work. So yesterday I submitted a pull request that failed miserably because of that. I'm wondering if I try to rerun the checks, those would pass now because things have been merged. Probably not. No, it runs against master. If it runs against master, I'm not sure, then they would pass. But if we use the unit tests from the code that I have pushed, then they will fail. I'll learn. Anyway, I'm back to I think I'm never sure if it's best to create a new work tree that will be deleted later and that has a meaningful name, or if I should just keep work trees. As one can probably see, I end up doing a bit of both. And I'll go with a new name now, a meaningful one. So git work tree add, and it will be respect detect alert 5180 v1. This is all right, I guess. Now I'll go there. Oh, I hate it when I do that. I did it. I did many wrong things now. So one of them was that I named the work tree with a version. I always do that when I actually meant to have the work tree and the branch name with the version. So now I have to fix that pretty thing there. It's wrong. The name of the branch is v1, which is not what I meant. Let's git work tree move detect alert v1 detect alert 5180. I think just this is enough. Yeah, that part was enough for that. Now I have to branch move. I think move would rename, and I will rename v1 to detect alert 5180 v1 m, not mv, and also missing the dash. Okay. Now, if I go to detect alert, things are the way I wanted them to be in the first place. And now that I have this, when I'm in truly exploratory mode, I'll usually go to VS Code, so many mosquitoes. But I want another branch. No, I do not want to. No Docker for now. This. Now I can explore, change stuff if I feel like it, and I'm in the right place now. Now I'm trying to think, how should I go about this? And I had an idea. I'm not sure if this is good or not. But I'm thinking that if I managed to run that Suricata Verify test that I saw here, which is HTTP SHA-256 drop through GDB, I might be able to see the stack trace, and then I would see which functions were called, and maybe that would help me. I've never taken this approach for something like that, and I don't know how well it would work, because at first I wouldn't know where to put the breakpoints, but maybe if I can like stop or pause the execution and print the stack trace, that would help me. So I'll try to do that, also because it sounds like a fun experiment. So it's time to detach terminals. I'll leave this one here. This one is just where I'll, oh, but I don't have to. Yeah, I just want to make sure that my Suricata Verify is up to date. Although I think it is, I didn't see any merges related to that. Yep. So I think this can go. Now I have to make sure that I'm configuring, well, or that, yeah, I don't have anything here because this is a new tree. So I have to fetch things that are important for Suricata to work well, especially libHTTP. Now let's do the first step of linking, I believe, and generating the config files, etc. I think my last configure, oh, that wasn't what I expected to see. Configure 7469 seems to have what I need. And I want to just check one thing. Oh, yeah, that is. As I've mentioned the other day, I tried to take advantage of these moments to check chats. That's what I'm doing. Do I have anything new in my email? Nope. Let's check how are the runs on GitHub going. I need more, not just the format check. Can we go to the builds? Yeah, they run the. No, this was. But I asked you. Oh, when I said rerun all checks, you just rerun those? I see. If I do it here, would it work? Oh, rerun failed jobs. Let's see how it goes. That's what I should have done in the first case. And as I've had mentioned a few minutes ago, now I'll learn. But I already learned that we can choose to run only the failed ones. Maybe I knew that and I wasn't sure. Where are the unit tests ones? The others don't have unit tests and things are going well. I don't recall. Well, I do know that the ones that had failed were the ones connected to the unit tests, but I don't know by heart which ones were those, just looking. Of course, this one, but what else? I'm listening to Stromae and dancing. It shows, I know. My code is compiling, my tests are being run. I could swear I saw someone coming down the stairs, but there's no one. I did see someone coming down the stairs. Okay, I think this is done. So what do we have? If I run the unit tests now, that will generate a command line that I can then run through GDB, and that's my plan. So if I go to Suricata Verify, the master, and I want to run, is it SMB? HTTP SHA-256 drop. There. Good. Cool. Now I can cut that. I can like yes, and now I want output command line, and then we have this. With that I can run GDB and use it, and maybe that would work. But I must recall how do I pause during loop execution? Have you tried simply running? Why don't you? Why passive aggressive answers? Why? That is not welcoming. Pause. The principal purposes of using a debugger are so that you can stop your program before it terminates, or so that if your program runs into trouble, you can investigate and find out why. Inside GDB, your program may stop for any of several reasons, such as a signal, a breakpoint, or reaching a new line after a GDB command such as step. You may then examine and change variables, set new breakpoints, or remove old ones, and then continue execution. Usually, the messages shown by GDB provide ample explanation of the status of your program, but you can also explicitly request this information at any time. Info program display information about the status of your program, whether it is running or not, what process it is, and why it stopped. Breakpoints, watch points, and exceptions. Excuse me, that's not what I want. Break. When calling without any arguments, break sets a breakpoint at the next instruction to be executed. Where was I? In the selected stack frame. See section examining the stack. In any selected frame but the innermost, this makes your program stop as soon as control returns to that frame. This is similar to the effect of a finish command in the frame inside the selected frame, except that finish does not leave an active breakpoint. If you use break without an argument in the innermost frame, GDB stops the next time it reaches the current location. This may be useful inside loops. GDB normally ignores breakpoints when it resumes execution until at least one instruction has been executed. If it did not do this, you would be unable to proceed past a breakpoint without first disabling the breakpoint. This rule applies whether or not a breakpoint already existed when your program stopped. Oh, learning. Setting watch points, deleting, disabling, break conditions. I want like something like pause. No pause. All right. Okay. Okay. Why? Why did you do that? Was I on the other window? Okay, so we are here. I think I have to run with sudo because of reasons. No. That was too fast. Code 1. That was too fast. Okay, so setting IPS mode. We have a break. I can break probably in Suricata. C. 1465 because I see that. Okay, the program is not running. Now I see I have that. Main. Parse command line. Suricata main. That's not much. Ow. All right, I'll do a short break here and come back in 5 or 10. Thanks whoever is there, and see you soon.